rift of worlds, bringing a great worldly disaster, putting everyone in danger. Slowly, this magic stone's existence has been forgotten, yet it still exists somewhere in the world. Danger still lurks. It is still persistent. And now, another terrifying disaster is coming to Sky Island. To overcome this disaster, we need professionals. Those who are well versed in monsters. At this time, Siri was busy hunting down a monster. However, it was nowhere to be seen. Only traces of powerful magic lingered. Siri could not shake this uneasy feeling, so she sought out Yennefer's expertise, realizing that a foreboding problem had arisen. They turned to people they could trust, and came together to face the danger. They are now ready to embark on a new journey. The Monster Slayers are returning once again.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Summoner's War. My name is Come To Us Evan, and with me today, it's Stoic. What's going on, Stoic? How are you, man?
What's happening, Evan? How we doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing pretty good, too.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Chat, how are you all doing? See a lot of people here with us today. I see Carnegie yelling my name. Eileen Johnson's here, by the way. Berg Life, I'm trying to decipher what their first chat was. It was censored, but Florida was in there, so I'm really curious about it. What's up, Versatile? Said, hey, Evan and Stoic. Stoic, today we're going to be talking about the new event that came out. At least we're going to start off like that, because people have a lot of choices coming up here with the new Hall of Heroes event.
That's right. And I have opinions, too. Like, with how many monsters we're going to get from the past as well, I feel like there's a lot to think about and a lot to unpack at the same time. So as we go through, like, all of them, like, I feel like there's a good way to look at them to kind of help people really understand what they want to pick out. Noted. I feel like it is important to bring this up. There is an incredible YouTube video out there that you can watch from Jew Bagel as well.
Yes.
Very, very informative.
Very informative. And in fact, yeah, guys, so with that in mind, like, this is kind of a unique opportunity. Like, Dak Attack in chat just said, time for the controversy. Like, this is kind of a fun opportunity for us to have this conversation, potentially discourse together live. But if you guys want more than one opinion, which I do suggest that you take, you can check out the video that Stoic mentioned from Bagel. Sean B also posted something on the day of the announcement of the Hall of Heroes too that you can check out. But today we're going to share our opinions. We're going to tell you why you may want certain monsters, what you should take if you're unsure. And honestly, you guys can also say what you think you want to take. Or if you disagree with us, you should also feel more than comfortable saying that too.
Of course.
Eileen Johnson, quote, I have opinions. Yeah, Stoic's got opinions. Also, I'm running B10 of the Punisher's Crypt. It recently came to my attention that I never completed the farm B10 using repeat battle with my Punisher's Crypt. I just, for whatever reason, I never did it. So
the only answer to that, Evan, is you're such a whale that you didn't need the Devilmon.
I didn't need the Devilmon. Exactly. Didn't need the Devilmon. I've been farming the Abyss instead, so it's like I haven't gone backwards. I've been doing the Abyss hard and times 30, not times 10 B10. So anyway, let's jump into this. I'm going to navigate on over to the Hall of Heroes event. Okay. I feel like this week is generally pretty easy, but there are some exceptions for sure. So Stoic, do you want to kick us off here? Like week 1, what do you suggest people pick? Why do you think that?
So obviously a lot of people, your eyes are immediately going to go towards Light Ninja in Dak Barrett. So as for someone who has not seen this HOH yet, as for someone who's maybe like missed it in the past as well, obviously those light Daks are really, really sticking out here. There's great information about the Dak Barrett. Dak Barrett's probably like that number 1 unit. There was a lot of teams in the past that people use for farming, so PvE content that Dak Barrett will like really, really shine for. So I think naturally, if you've never seen this Hall of Heroes before, this is probably the number 1 pick and the no-brainer to pick up as well. So Luna kind of sits in like that number 1 spot for everyone to look at. But I feel like if you already have everything, you've got to recognize something that has happened. Talisha got a buff. Yeah. And the Talisha we're going to be getting actually later on, so we'll get to like talk about that later on. Your skill ups are right here if you're not the kind of person to skill up or to fuse a bunch of water undines to get your skill ups for Talisha. So you can get your skill ups here. That's really, really nice. Anybody that has a Han, so this is a LD5. So we're going to talk about this as we get through, more of these HOH as well. There are 4 stars that have a 5-star counterpart, and take advantage of those because it's like free Devilmon, especially when you have an event like this, because you're able to get so many Devilmon in quotes for your Han. If you have a Han and it's not skilled up yet, the Light Ninja is here waiting for you.
Exactly.
Now,
exactly.
There still is like more to unpack the entire time because I actually went with Han myself, but not for any form of skill up reason. Okay. I'm sorry, Jin. Yeah, not Han. Jin. You. So the reason I went for Jin is because this week I didn't have anything to use my engraved conversion stones for. And I have 1 unit I'm trying to improve on, and that's actually my light brush boy, the light painter. Hanwol. Yeah. Hanwol. I'm trying to improve on him. So not only is the Light Ninja an attack type, just like him, but he's also light. So I used all my Light Ninjas inside the engraving stone conversion. Did I screw that up? Engraved conversion stone.
No, I think you're right. Also, Hanwol, objectively, like one of the coolest 3rd skills in the game to me. Like it's crazy what he ignores in the game. Like it's everything, by the way. Luna can skill up your 10 Claras. Very true. I'm just catching up with chat real quick. Dakatek says Ninja unless you need dungeon help. We've also got a couple hellos. Fastlick says hello. Ferlin, hello from France. Hello from California. And Hidrolski also brings up a good disclaimer that I think we should just throw out in general. If you don't have the LDs, in general, you should take the LDs because you're less likely to take them or less likely to encounter them out in the wild, right? But I agree with everything that Stoic just said too. Wanted to shout out as well that Luna the Dark Purite is like used in some speed teams for dungeons. So if you're looking to speed up your comps, you can do that. She isn't necessary by any stretch of the imagination. If you're using light speed teams in guilds, if you're using them anywhere, you need a light speed leader. That might be a good reason to take Jin too. Like, you know, speed up your Sheer, speed up your Kabila. Like, he's great for things like that. So, but we will be getting to Talasha. So if you know that you're a Talasha user and you need the skill ups, you know, and you don't want to farm them, you can fuse skill ups for it. But if you don't want to do that, and I understand it, because, you know, I don't think I would either, you can get them here.
I think it's only 9 skill ups as well. So yeah, it's not too much. Because you'll get the 5 Wind Undines and then the 5 Talashas when we get there, and that'll be all your skill ups that you need, more than you need.
Oh, here we go. Week 2. So week 2 is a little bit interesting. I think personally, like, the best in a vacuum is probably the Light Succubus. She's kind of Hathor adjacent. You know, it's like she does a lot of sleep shenanigans, and she's actually pretty good at it too. She has the potential to 2-turn sleep people. The Dark Phantom Thief is really annoying, but I don't know. Stoic, do you have an opinion on this one?
Well, first of all, I would like to thank Comptos for adding the new feature here on this page as well, because I don't have a Light Succubus, and I've been waiting for my chance to pick up a Light Succubus. I don't think I was around for this HOH. So I was so happy to see I finally get to pick up the Light Succubus. I've never pulled this unit in my time playing, so finally I get my Light Succubus. Dark Phantom Thief, I feel like I never have a good thing to say about any Phantom Thief ever.
I know. I feel the same way.
May or something like that.
Where are the succubi? Oh, there they are. There we go.
Yeah.
Attacks without waking up the enemy that's under sleep. Puts all enemies under sleep for 1 to 2 turns. Also reduces attack speed of all enemies for 2 turns. That's the part to me that's pretty awesome. Is the slow, because like the 1 to 2 turns is like, you know, that's kind of a meh effect if you can't guarantee the 2. The slow is really what takes it from like good to great, I would actually say.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, we've seen that on Light Monkey. Like, not to make but we've seen that on Light Monkey. Slow is super impactful. It's gonna feel more like 3 turns of sleep if they're under a slow debuff. Dak Attack says, don't do the vampire for skill ups, just fuse more. Not a bad call, to be honest. A Dak Attack is calling for folks to not be lazy. And I can appreciate that.
I totally understand that. When you have the ability to fuse, you can fuse. But if you're ever in the situation of you just straight up don't know what you want to do, and maybe you are lazy, at least it's one of those options. Because I think a lot of people can approach these weeks as in checklists. So I think when it comes to a checklist, your highest priority is, do you have it? Meaning the LDs. So if you could already check that box off, I already have both LDs. All right, so what's the next thing you would probably prioritize? Well, skill ups is probably like one of the next biggest things, because that's your Devilmons. Like, what are you trying to skill up? Okay, check. I've got nothing I'm trying to skill up. So if you already have everything, if you don't need any of the skill ups here, how do you utilize any of these monsters if A, you already have them, B, everything that you have about them that you have to offer here is already, like, you own it. You own it, or you already built it, and you already skilled everything up. I think the only thing left is to honestly look at this and find out, what are you trying to improve artifact-wise on stuff that you're currently using?
Yes. Yeah, that's a great way. It's way better than what I was going to suggest, which was LD pieces, baby. Feed them for LD pieces.
Well, when all else fails, that's where the 4 stars are going.
That's where the 4 stars go, dude. That's the shadow rope there. Salve Hoots, tudo bem, lindo. Obrigado. Salve chat. Yeah, and the only other thing that I wanted to point out on here too, like looking towards the elementals, to me, like the Kung Fu girls, like I would still fuse your skill ups for Lu Mei, but they are here. That is an option. We also have the Sylphids if you have Mo Licorice. If you got the Icarus Mo Long comp and you need to skill it up, you can use the Sylphids from this. But to me, this one is a little bit more cut and dry. It's either you go for like the sleep option with the Light Succubus, or you go for what are you trying to improve, like Stoic was saying in terms of the artifacts too. I did just want to shout out one thing from Grimalkin on the YouTube chat saying Arya all the way, especially because there's an entire sleep team in the full Hall of Heroes rotation in Izael, Arya, Ashubel. I was like, wait, that's actually kind of a cool take. I didn't realize that. There is like a full team option in here if you were so inclined.
Yeah, like honestly, this week is I'm obviously picking up the light succubus because I don't have it, so I'm finally going to get this. But at the same time, if I had the light succubus, like if I do pull it, I'm going full Dak Phantom Thieves because this allows me to improve my Nikki's artifacts.
Yeah.
Because he's a attack type and a Dak type, meaning when I go for the engraved stones, I'm getting attacks and Dak engraved stones to improve an LD Nat 5. So
dude, that's such
something
a great
to keep
take,
in mind
actually.
for anybody that does have LD Nat 5s. Find out what your typing is on all of your LD Nat 5s. You know, I don't know how many LD Nat 5s most people have, or if any at all. But those are the tough ones to feed. You know what I mean? It's not often that you get an LD and you're like, all right, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this LD 4-star into the blender and pull out an engraved stone. And you might not even get what you're looking for. But this is small progression, and this is a great opportunity to, you know, try for it.
That's such an important take, actually, because I don't think a lot of people would necessarily pick up on that right away. And like you said, Guillaume, in being a dark 4-star that you're willing to part with can actually be a benefit for once, instead of like, you know, being a bad thing that you gotta, I'm gonna use the word bad Nat 4, quote unquote, just to emphasize the point. I don't necessarily mean bad all the way, but you know what I'm saying for the sake of the point. What up, Maple Cadiz? What's going on, dude? Welcome to the chat. Also, Marshmalline Pup. My only LD Nat 5 so far is Dark Phoenix. Got it like 2 months ago. That is not a bad. It's not a bad first LD 5. It's better than my first LD 5. Let's head on over to week 3. Oh, this one's got the very first 4-star I ever summoned in it. Draco. That was my first 4-star.
Really?
Actually, that was my first one. I still haven't awakened him though, but he's new, or rather, he was the first one. Okay, so from this one, to me, I think that Diaz, the Dark Death Knight, is always a good place to start. He's great in rifts. He's great, or rather, great in raids. He's still great for your supporting teams in R5, and he's also gotten some recent attention in RTA actually because of a recent buff that makes it so that now his passive affects the damage that light attribute deals. So he's a great counter to like light-based comps.
Not just that though. I'm currently using Diaz myself, and it's because I'm doing so much Gap Soup combinations.
Yes.
Gap Soup, he's fusible. He's so easy to obtain. You just pick up this incredible DAC fusion that we all have, and you can pair it up with a Diaz, which works phenomenally. Diaz offering an attack break, defense break, second skill with a heal block on first skill. Insane combination, so you can put this unit on violent to keep up with that second skill over and over, and then Gap Soup just goes ahead and pounds through all the defense breaks and just destroying enemies left and right. And then obviously Diaz, he helps your team receive less damage, and everyone is playing Gap Soup with his leader skill anyway, so everything Doc getting even more HP. So not only are you just loaded up with a bunch of HP, we're loaded up with a crazy passive coming from Diaz, keeping your team alive. It's really wild to play Gap Soup in Diaz.
How interesting is that he's like getting in the spotlight now of all times, like this far down the line in Summoner's War. Like this guy's been around. He was a staple when I joined up with Come To Us 7 years ago. So it's like it's actually so crazy. And we got a question in chat about the light sylph. So I'm looking for Beretta. Found him. There it is. All right, Eridas. He also has a dungeon speed lead. Attacks all enemies with a cyclone 4 times. Each attack has a 20% chance to stun, and he absorbs attack bar, so he could potentially do it again.
Yep. Light HP type unit as well.
Yeah.
I can't, off the top of my head, think of a light HP type LD Nat 5 that people may want to improve on. I'm sorry, Tian Lang owners.
Is he
Tian Lang owners
HP?
trying to improve.
Is he not
yeah,
support?
HP type.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
So Tian Lang
HP.
is also a light HP type unit. So if
Looks
any
like
Tian Lang
Volantis.
owners trying to improve them, Volantis. Oh yeah, look at all of them. So many of them. If you're trying to improve any of those units, I think Eridas might be your guy if you're in the situation of having everything and all the skill ups, not knowing what to pick up in gravestones. And I also think it's really neat to include this as well. We get this weekly, and weekly you get your engraved stones. So it's kind of like you can already plan ahead for what to spend your engraved stones on. If you don't utilize the engraved stone thing in the game, I recommend everybody does.
Yeah. Tian Lang, that's the goal. Come to us, gods. I need him. I know, Mega. You know what? I actually want your LD5 though. I want your Yanhong. I think Yanhong is just like so much fun, even today. Dude,
I agree.
She's like got the turn cycling of Raccoony, and she sustains the unit like crazy. She's damaged. She can start. She's wild. Like she's everything.
One of the best 2v2 units, LD Nat 5s out there too.
Oh my god,
insane!
Yes, actually, that's a video that I should make in the future. I'd love actually Stoic. That'd be so fun to like write that together. Actually, like units that improve from like base RTA to 2v2. Like Yanhong is one of those monsters that gets way better in 2v2. Actually, now there are a lot of monsters that actually get worse. Yanhong's not one of them. Anyway, week 4.
What are these engraved stones we speak of? I love this question. I think, Evan, you should totally pull up where to craft engraved stones.
Let's go. Shall we go on over to the craft building? Let's go. Where? There we go.
Yep.
There we go. Here we go. Look at that. This is what you need to get. This is what Stoic's been on about the whole time.
Yeah, so the highs. So not often. Like, I understand people not wanting to feed 4 stars. Because that's exactly where these highs would go. So you would put 4 stars in them, and then you would get epics to legend engraved stone quality stuff.
Did you see? I just got this guy, by the way. I just got the light Asura a little while ago.
Nice. I wish he was dark.
Yeah, I know. That was my thought too, actually. That was my thought as well. Secretly Deadpool, what's going on, dude? Okay, so we are on week number 4 now. Okay, week number 4. The standout to me here in terms of actual like performance, before we get into like, yeah, you should take the LDs if you don't have it. Like Lynette, I think is the name of the dark lapis. I would go with her if you're going LD hunting. I think probably one of the best in terms of usability is actually Cichlid, the Wind Mermaid. Not saying you should take her though, because there's easier ways to take her. Just saying in terms of the best one, I think Cichlid is actually the standout to me. What do you think on this one, Stoic?
Yes. So for someone who has the LDs, doesn't need the Skillups for any of the LDs, that doesn't need the engraved stones for the LDs, Cichlid is by far the best standout unit here, because Platy has viability, Cichlid has viability,
Mermaids
Molly,
are super valuable.
all the mermaids, they're all great.
Mermaids.
They're all amazing.
Yeah. Every single one. Dude, Tetra, actually, like Tetra is so
Tetra.
good. She's a free-to-play Gianna counter, actually, and actually Nefties too. You can counter a lot of really relevant units with Tetra too. Sean B did a build with Cichlid, says Mega. Yeah, Cichlid's pretty stellar. I also made a video on her. I think it was 5 Nat 4s that should see more play, and Cichlid was on it. Absolutely. Okay, so I think this one's fairly cut and dry. Lynette, if you don't have it. Cichlid, if you really don't think you can get one. I wouldn't necessarily advise it though, because elemental Nat 4s are actually easier to come by than they seem.
This is actually, I think, the first week where a regular element shines super bright compared to other weeks, and
yes,
it's just because of how viable all the mermaids are, and that's a lot of skill ups that you need to skill up all the mermaids. So definitely a good week for a not LD.
What are the most valuable summons you can get from like ancient coins? That's from Disease40 on Twitch. Welcome to the chat, by the way, dude. I see that's your first time chatting. I'm glad you found the stream today. In terms of like what's available in the ancient coin shop, you're thinking like what's the most impactful thing that you can grab from there? I don't think there's a dud amongst the ancient coins anymore. If you asked me this question a couple years ago, I would have said that Ergar was a bit of a dud, but he actually has usability now. He's actually pretty solid. So I don't think you can go wrong with anything you get.
I see what you're saying here. Yeah, so what to like save up. I mean, so the thing is, if you need something from it, like if you don't have something from that shop, you probably should try and save your coins up and get whatever it is, because what is it, Bernadette?
Bernadette. I see.
Viable unit, very viable unit.
These guys are in here too, the Wind Lollipop. So I would say that these 3 specifically, I would have told you prioritize Fran, but she's now given to you in the Summoner's Way quest line. So you actually, presuming you didn't feed it, you don't need Fran. These 3 are all really good, and you can use them in different parts of the game, right? Like Bernadette can be used in dragons. You can also technically use him anywhere you need like some debuff removal plus damage. El Sharion is super helpful for like early dungeon teams. I use him in all the rifts actually, because he's got a great 38% attack lead in dungeon. And then El Sharion you can use in RTA. Elsharion's
that
really
Lollipop Warrior Thomas. It's a 110 base speed. It's a very good unit for like turn 1 teams. He's definitely something to not shy away from either if you don't have that too. So
True.
just great things to have because you never know what a balance patch might do to some of these units.
True. In game, he is actually the fastest unit in the game. Strictly speaking, once you're in the game, he has the fastest base speed. Even more so than Spectra, actually, who has the fastest base speed, regardless of where you are. He was just kind of divisive on launch, but like I think we're getting to the point where I think someone just needs to be ambitious enough to use him, and then he might be able to actually shine a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I think we're getting to the point where we could actually use him again. Okay, back to the charts. Week number 5. Oh my God,
week number 5, Evan.
Tasha. It's Tasha gameplay.
No, it's Conrad, Evan. It's Conrad.
No, it's not
I'm telling you
Conrad.
right now. Look, okay, hear me out, okay? In the year 2036 of Summoner's War, Conrad's going to be the most insane unit, and everyone's going to be using it all over the place. I can't wait for the Conrad buff, because I full-heartedly believe Conrad's going to be insane. He's got a 19 speed lead, so he's offering a speed lead to the team. I don't know what Comp is going to do to him. He does have a speed lead. Conrad, I think he's going to be insane. I don't know what. I don't know where. I don't know how.
But he's going to be insane.
All I know is I've got that feeling that Conrad is going to be like a freaking pop star, dude. Everyone's going to wish they had him. Everyone's going to wish they built him and skilled him up. Conrad's going to be wild.
All I know is that isn't he the one way that you can give your allies debuffs? I think he's the only way in the game that you can actually transfer debuffs.
You'd cause a lot of harm to yourself.
You can actually transfer debuffs to your ally.
Conrad Seimei. Seimei, and we can just bring in a ton of healing. Like we can do this. We can make this a thing.
This guy's on the Conrad copium, dude. He's just awesome. I love it, dude. That's actually the one situation. I'm gonna make it work.
I can't wait for it.
If anybody can, I 100% believe that it would be you. Like 100%. Especially with the Seimei. Actually, that's a good take. So in general, so speaking not in 2036, but right now in 2024, I think Tasha, you actually were the reason on stream that people got to see this in action. If you have like a Leo Ragdoll, or if you want to hold out hoping that you get a Leo or a Ragdoll in the future, I think Tasha is going to be the natural inclination for you. She is a free-to-play Vivichel. Stoic, do you want to tell more about why people might want Tasha?
I wish I could take the full credit on the Tasha, because I had heard that it was super, super nutty. Went and skilled it up myself, and when I was playing with it, I was like, please, for the love of God, don't nerf this unit. I was comboing it with, obviously, the Leo Ragdoll. When you take that third skill, you're able to reduce your HP with Leo and Rag, and then you get your Ignore Defense Torrent up there. That is a really sick combination. But I was using this with an Oberon, and Oberon's able to ventilate the Tasha, and you could do it all over again. Yes. So things were getting super, super gross for, like, Ragdoll, Oberon, Tasha, with like a Nana or Shizuka, and you're just able to offer incredible viability to your team. Super, super fun unit for anybody that has a Leo, because you can do your Leo combinations with Tasha. But it doesn't even like stop there, because even Ramagos has some viability with its Ramagos Tasha, where Ramagos has low HP. He starts to pump out a lot of damage as well. We've known Ramagos to do this, but I know not a ton of people are doing Ramagos Tasha content, but that there is some utility in there too.
That's an interesting. That's actually a really good suggestion. Clean shot after Tasha. The other thing to keep in mind too is that Tasha is so dope because she gives the vampire buff, so you don't actually need to ruin them on vampire. So you can still have your Leo or Ragdoll on violent.
It makes the vampire buff actually feel like it works, because I know when we've used Eridar in the past for PvE teams, and you're like, okay, like I'm healing a little bit, but because you're one-shotting units, you're getting so much HP back from the vampire buff, because you're putting units on violent, and they get the vampire buff through Tasha, and you're one-shotting stuff, and you're at like a 50% HP with whatever you're using. So you don't have to run the vampire Leo, you don't have to run the vampire Ragdoll, you won't have to run the vampire Ramagod. You can put everything on violent or whatever you want to put them on.
Oh, real quick, I'm so sorry to divert the attention, but we just got a question from Space Cadet Galaxy, who's the first time in chat. What's going on, dude? I'm glad you're on stream. says, hello, I got my first LD Nat 5 a few weeks ago. It's Lydia. I'm still confused on how to rune her. Dude, that was my first LD5. It's my only LD5. That's crazy. That's actually great. I'm so sorry that the news is not going to be, it's not going to be great. But
wow, congratulations. Time to crush your hopes.
This is not how, by the way. I'm just showing you that I have a Lydia. She is in storage currently. I'm going to tell you how I ruined her. And then, like, you know, you can make of it what you will. I had mine on double Nem Will for RTA purposes, right? Unfortunately, so before I say that, she's very fun to use for counter cleave. If you see your opponent is like going like, you know, whole AoE damage, you have ways to make it so that Lydia survives, something like that, or like maybe it's a snipe comp and you're confident they're not going to go for Lydia. They will, but you're confident they're not going to go for Lydia. You can bring her into that situation and then play the Uno reverse card and just accidentally, you'll clear their entire team before they clear you. The problem about that is that it does rely on your opponent being a little bit ignorant to what Lydia brings to the table. And that's kind of the failing of Lydia, I have to say. So currently, I'm not using her right now, but I did use her for quite some time. If you have the spare double Nem Will runes around, rune her up, leave her in your favorites. There might come a time where you could use her, but unfortunately, I think that generally speaking, she might need a little bit of a change, because she does rely on your opponent not knowing what she does.
It was his first message, Evan. He pulled Lydia. We tell him Lydia's bad. That's his last message, Evan.
Oh my god. So Space Cadet Galaxy also says, I'm just confused because people tell me to do damage, but people put her on mostly HP. The reason why that change has happened, by the way, Space Cadet, is because she stacks damage as your allies take damage, right? And because of a recent change to her family, the Polar Queens, that skill 2 of hers auto crits as long as there are no debuffs or no buffs on the enemy team. So you don't necessarily need crit rate. You don't need a ton of crit rate on her, right? You still sometimes want crit rate because there will be times where they're going to have buffs. But ultimately, that's why they rune at HP, because you need it to survive. Because if someone knows what she does, they're going to attack her, and then it's going to be a bad time. Okay, as much as I love the Lydia talks, I'll bring us back over here. The only other thing I did want to shout out is Rigel, the Water Lich. You don't need to get him, but he is kind of like an elemental Meiho Wang. Just something to keep in mind. Okay. And he was seen at SWC, actually. Okay, week 6. Week 6, Stoic. This one is slightly more on the dry side for me. I think it's more of like a skill-up week. How are you feeling about this one?
Just two notable things to bring up is that the Water Anubis and the Wind, what is he called again? He's
Imaceti? Is that Imaceti?
The Wajet Skillup.
Yeah, the
He's the
Wajet.
Wajet Skillup, and then we have the Anubis Skillup, because they have light dark counterparts where they're LD Nat 5s, and these are 4-star Skillups for light dark units. So just a little note to take there. I guess in my opinion, this is a really rough week. It's not super great. I know the Wind Pumpkin getting a lot of attention. I think a lot of people are ruining up a lot of Wind Pumpkins for Siege. So more skill ups for more Windies for Siege, because a lot of people are building lots of Windies. So there is that. The light and dark picks here are kind of rough. Fun note, Ran is the only version of Rakshasa with a tattoo on her leg. Maybe that might make you want to pick up a Ran. I don't know.
Style choice, you know? Yeah, check this out.
Dark type, attack type, I guess. Maybe you need to skill something or engravestone something there.
Don't sound so enthusiastic, Stoic.
Yeah. It's a rough week.
It is absolutely a rough week. So I think you want to maximize skill ups, like Stoic was saying. You know, so if you're a Wedgeat owner, you know, if you're really playing with a lot of Amduat and like there is an Amduat Hall of Heroes later, but if you didn't want to take it again, you could get the skill ups here. Also, like he shouted out, all of the Jack-o'-lanterns are really solid, so getting Jack-o'-lantern skill-ups is a great call too. Actually, all of them except the Fire one. The Fire one is probably the weakest of the bunch. Moving on, week 7, we have a couple actually good starting units here between Gemini and the Dark Cobalt Bomber, whose name I'm forgetting, Bearing.
Bearing, yeah. So Bearing and Gemini, these are incredible. Both of them being strip units as well, which is cool to see here. Both of them super, super viable. If you don't have either one, you're in for it. Like, imagine not having a Gemini or having a Bearing, and you have to choose between them. This is like one of the tougher weeks. So it's like, what do you decide?
Which one do
and
I
if,
take?
If you don't have both, like that's rough.
I believe Bearing silences, right? If I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty powerful. Like strip silence is great because I know the natural inclination is just go straight to Gemini, but I actually think that it's worth considering the Bearing attacks all enemies with a bomb that blocks all magic powers, removing one beneficial effect. So he strips one buff, and then he silences, which is a very weirdly templated third skill, by the way. Like this could just say strip 1, 2-turn silence. Like that's it. That's all this needs to say.
So in my opinion, for someone who doesn't have either or, I think you have to go Gemini. I think that's just the better option. You get a speed lead, you get a faster unit. If they don't have any will on them, they're going to get defense broken. Keep in mind, there is a playstyle for Gemini. You don't want to have shield runes, will runes. You don't want to have buffs, because if Gemini has any buffs at all, you're not going to strip anything either. So please keep in mind the utility of Gemini first. So it's not like, oh, it's speed lead, stripper, 106 base speed. This will work out for you. There is a condition on the strip, so just keep that in mind.
Yeah, removes one. I think it looks like they might have removed so it's now strip 1 granted on the enemy when attacking.
That's gone?
It looks like they might have
removed.
Past? That's crazy. They changed it. That's awesome. So this might just be the take.
Never mind. Gemini's just the take then.
Yeah, this is just the take. I think the only thing to keep in mind now is, again, speed lead, fast base speed, but it replaces defense break. So it leaves a defense break in its place, right? So do you value the defense break? Do you value the silence? I think that's the only thing that you need to consider when it comes into it. To me, I think Gemini is still a little bit better, especially because this is a persistent effect, So it's like every turn, even when you're attacking single target, you're going to be removing a buff. So that's pretty sick.
And keep in mind, Bearing has a 99 base speed compared to a Gemini 106 base speed, which is a lot.
It is
a lot of speed right there in comparison for something that's supposed to go turn 1, 2 strip.
Yes. They buffed him. That's awesome. Gemini deserved it. Okay, moving on to the next week here. Week number 8. Clara, Aegir, Shimite, and then we've got the 2, and I actually don't know the light Undyne's name.
There's always a reason for not knowing a unit's name, and it's usually because of how unviable it is.
Yeah, I think this would probably be like if you're planning ahead for the future and you know you're going to take a Lucas, or like you took a Talasha and you weren't able to complete the whole dungeon or something like that, or you still need more skill ups. I think maybe this would be another skill up week for that. There are a couple standout elemental units here, though, I will say. Clara and Aegir, I think you can actually get through pieces in the guild shop, though, so maybe take that into consideration. But Clara, excellent starter. Like, she strips, she stuns. It's amazing. Aegir had his time in the spotlight in 2019, too. He wrecked in RTA through all of 2019. The dude was just crazy. He is not that crazy anymore, but he's still kind of cool.
Carl's actually not bad. For someone who doesn't have Carl and has everything else, I think Carl's a really cool unit to pick up. He's got one of those third skills that does it kill through anything?
Let me go look it up.
Does it kill through invincibility too? I don't know if it kills through invincibility, but it'll kill through stuff that would have not died in the first place. I think you can run it on like a 75 crit rate, so you don't need a high rune quality when it comes to trying to rune crit on him, because he buffs his own crit rate for him with second skill.
He does kill through anything.
Okay, so yeah, he'll just kill through anything. So,
yeah, look at that. So it ignores damage reduction effects and resist death effects. So that means you can kill through a Triana, you can take down a Fire Cassandra, like anything like that. That's pretty sick, actually. That is pretty sick. Although we are going to talk Lucas later as well. So maybe Carl might be the take. You could take the Carls and then decide if you want to focus on one or the other. Week number 9, we got more mermaids, which we've established are valuable. I like Dusky here. I think Dusky actually does some pretty decent damage. What are your thoughts on this one, Stoic?
I've seen people use the Dusky. Dusky actually has some even G3 use out there that people have brought this to the table. He could be a very troublesome unit. I've never ever really liked any of the pumpkin heads minus chilling. But,
really? Yeah, I see what you mean. I think Windy is really solid. He's great. Like being immune to defense break is just like crazy powerful.
That's a really good passive for Dusky. If your turn ends without attacking an enemy, or a shield that is proportionate to your level lasts for 3 turns generates on all allies, while having the shield all damage you deal is increased by 50%. That's a very interesting like bruisery like mindset there. I don't know if this has great combinations with Gapsu. Keeping your team all shielded up here, but this could have something like that. I love the second skill. I think this is one of the better second skills they have. Anytime you can increase your attack speed for 2 turns, that's a long time to be moving pretty fast. So it's a really nice second skill.
Absolutely, and it facilitates the passive chat. So that means that you can kind of skip your turn, right, to activate the passive and get the shield. And then you got your crit rate buff, you have your speed buff. Really cool unit. I think he'd be worth the take in this situation. There are some, we talked about there's some standout elemental units too, like the Tetra there. We mentioned that Tetra is like a really powerful answer to Gianna, to Nephthys, anything that's trying to put buffs on you. What's going on here, guys? My event page I'm getting the spinning wheel. Actually, there's a really good time for me to drop the survey in chat. So there you go. I just put that in YouTube. You can use command new survey if you're on Twitch as well. And there was something else I wanted to talk about.
What was the light that week? Oh, the Akasha.
The light this week was the light assassin. The light assassin.
Light assassin. Yeah, I would assume that's an attack type. It's a light attack.
That's something to keep in mind too. You need to use engravestones. Week 10.
It is light attack.
Yo, week 10. Week 10's got Antares. Oh, dude, and Mi Yang.
Probably one of the best, units we've ever seen in HOH. Antares.
Antares is actually like so good, guys. I know we all have mixed opinions on Antares, but like he's the GOAT, dude, or he's the worst. There is really no in between.
Either he's the greatest of all time or just the worst.
Or just the worst. Yeah, he's either the reason you won or straight up the reason you lost.
Yeah, it really is.
Versatile. First pick on Tara's gang. Sounds like Suckmet is actually what they said. Thank you so much for that, Richard Morales, for posting the Discord, because Foxhound was asking about that too. Full tank Antares, says Gabriel. Dude, that's ambitious. Yeah, for me this time, I think it's probably either the Antares or the Mi Yang, or if you need the skill ups. So if you need Han's skill ups, you got another chance here. There's also the Dark Nine-Tailed Fox. Later on, Chammy's gonna be in one of these too, and Chammy's actually pretty solid. So these are things to consider. I love Mi Yang. I've been trying to preach the truth about Mi Yang for ages, dude. Like Mi Yang's got auto crit on skill 2. I actually want Mi Yang to get a buff to her base speed. I think if Mi Yang got a 116 base speed, we could have a free-to-play Yanhong and she'd like tear it up in RTA. I'd actually love that.
So week 10 is actually the first week 10 that we get a light support unit for Engravestones as well. That's something that I've been waiting for. This is the first time we see it with Lewis. Didn't know his name was Lewis. His name is definitely Light Engravestones for me. That's where he's going to be going.
That's where he's going.
I'm picking up him.
Did you say his name's Lewis?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Lewis?
I never knew that.
I didn't know that either. Oh, dude, this one's probably a really clean Lume take, to be honest. Like this one, as much as I love Morris, as much as I love Chilling, I actually think that this one is a pretty just straight up like Lume take. Because Lume she's a killer in Siege. She's got strip, she's got attack bar gain, she's got damage, she's got everything. Crowd control,
yep.
Like she's just super good. I don't mean to skip over the other units, but I think by this point you know what you need. If you need skill ups for something else, go for it, whatever. But I actually think this one is Lume, the light Kung Fu girl, all the way.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, your Tableau skill ups are sitting right there with the Morris, but Corona, not great. Corona is a DAC support, so anybody looking for DAC supports, Corona can be your pick for engravestones.
Dudono says, I take Corona, I think, because I already have Lume. There you go. Perfect. If you've already got Lume, you're chilling, you're good. Let's keep going. Week 12.
Yeah, as long as you keep applying that checklist, and obviously that checklist should always start, do you have the LDs? And if you can check that off because you have them, you just go down the checklist and that like little priority list between do you have it, skill ups, and then in my opinion, it would be gravestones. Yes.
This is actually kind of a tough call this week. I think these are both pretty valuable LD Nat 4s, to be honest. Like this is a fun conversation to have, chat. Like Deva versus Isabel. I think it really comes down to the person, to be honest. Are you trying to get a max HP damage scaling twins facilitator? Or are you trying to do something for your snipe comp? I think these are things that you'll have to consider, and the answer is kind of dependent on the person. Let me go over to the Dark Assassin so I can show her kit. Stoic, which one would you recommend that people take in this situation?
The Dark Assassin's actually getting a handful of action in RTA. There's a lot of people, Han users, getting a bunch of DAC speed in there. This unit, if it kills, I believe you're able to just go again.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So Endless Death is a pretty wild skill.
Exactly. So you get an attack power boost and a crit rate buff on your skill 2, and then you get an additional turn from that guaranteed. And then Endless Death. Endless Death makes it so that you, if you kill with it, it refreshes the cooldown time of the skill. So that essentially what you can basically do this twice. Like, very good. Isn't Deva more flexible and have more use? The thing is, Isabel is just so good where she's good that it comes down to the user to decide. It's like, am I trying to incorporate a snipe monster? Like, do I have a dark team? Do I have a dark speed lead? Something like that? Do I need something for guilds? There you can pick an Isabel. But if you're trying to kind of get your dungeon teams going, or maybe you're trying to do one of those like water demon comps, like people are kind of excited about in Dragon's Abyss. I actually use Deva Martina in my Dragon's Abyss team. So if you're trying to do something like that, you can bring Deva. Mm-hmm. Like, I think it comes down to the person.
I think Deva's problem is how good Cheyenne is.
Let me bring this up. Yeah.
So people, when you bring in your boomerang, it's your Sabrina, the water. It's your Martina if you have one. I don't really think it's much else when it comes to the boomerangs, unless you're trying to bring the fire boomerang, who's great for TOA. You don't look at a Diva because you're looking at Cheyenne all the time.
We got people excited about Deva. I have both, says Shinobi. River Naughty, what's going on? First time in chat. I'm late. What did I miss? Dude, you know what? Right now, we're just going through the Hall of Heroes each week and talking about what our favorite picks are. If anybody's missed like the beginning of the stream too, these VODs are on our YouTube channel too. So if you ever need to check out the beginning of the stream, absolutely check that out. And Django says, what's the Water Demon Dragons comp? I don't know if people are still using the Water Demon comp. I used it for a little while until I took out the Water Demon, actually. But you can basically pair the Water Demon with like Deva Martina. And like it ends up being kind of a fun comp, to be honest. I used it for a bit, like I said, but I think that Deva Martina on their own is actually good enough. Where am I going? Oh, events page. Let me keep going. Which is Shina is the fire chakram.
Yep.
Okay, the next one. We got the Dark Succubus this time. Oh, we have Carcano in here actually too. It should be noted that Figuro, the light Lucian, he is he's kind of he can do strip into bomb. Like people were saying that he was kind of like Mo Longy, like the Mo Long replacement. For what, meaning the skill 2 of Mo Long, not the skill 3. But people were saying that he could be that strip into stun replacement.
So Figaro got a lot of action in 4-star arena. So after RTA's finished, we have a special league. In special league, sometimes it's 4-star arena. Figaro gets a ton of attention in 4-star. So if you don't have a Figaro and you like RTA, when the 4-star special league comes around, Figaro may be something you want to get your hands onto. Obviously, you could fuse all the skill ups for him, or you can plan your skill ups because I believe Cian was something previously in a previous week, so you can get your skill ups for your Figaro that way as well.
Yeah. So that's that's his passive, right? Every time he attacks, he tries to remove a beneficial effect, and then he puts a bomb on 25% of the time. And then also he has 25% chance of just phasing out, ignoring the damage that turn, and he's got an AoE on skill 2. So he's a cool unit. If you like RNG, but you also like utility, he's kind of a good intermediary for that, where it's like he is RNG dependent, but like what he does is so good, and like the consistent strip is there, right? Like that is consistent. It's just the bomb that's kind of inconsistent, right? So if you're okay with that and you enjoy that sort of thing, he could be a really fun addition to your team. Like I think he's fun. He did get a ton of attention. Let's just jump over to, I think the Dark Succubus was the other one. I'm looking for I always miss the Succubi. I don't know why I can't find, oh, there she is. Heal block ignores defense if they're asleep. There is a full sleep comp in here, right? If you take, again, which was shouted out on YouTube chat, if you really commit to the bit, you can do a full sleep comp. To me, I don't think it's Izael. But I don't know. What do you feel like, Stoic?
I really like the disturbed HP recovery. So
you
it's like not
block?
only are you like putting people to sleep. So think about it. There's a reason why Gani Hathor is a thing, and it's because you get the third skill, ventilate back, do the third skill all over again. But the attack bar reduction is huge. So a lot of people will counter all this attack bar reduction with passives, and usually these passives are going to be healing as well. Juno, Seimei, any opportunity to like, yeah, you're pushing my attack bar back, yeah, I'm not getting turns, but then you brought stuff to heal in the background here. So one thing that this unit offers that Hathor doesn't is these heal blocks to stop units from healing up.
Yeah, that is something to keep in mind. The only other monster that I really wanted to shout out here too is that Carcano, the fire sniper. Because we know that Carcano's been used in guilds. You know, he's kind of like not as ubiquitous as he used to be. You can still use him there. The reason I wanted to point him out, though, is because he ignores damage reduction effects on skill 1, and that's actually something that you need in order to complete the dimensional raid. So if you have yet to do the dimensional raid and you need that unit that can kind of break the shield at the beginning to ignore damage reduction effects, that's an option for you right here, right? Because that can kind of be something that's a little difficult to come by. So there you go. That's something to just keep in mind. No honorable mention for poor Melia. Unfortunately, Hydralski, I would say do not take Melia kind of hard, only because she is fusible. That's the only reason I would say don't take the Melia.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and he's Magnum's brother. Exactly, Kanagi. Thank you. He's Magnum's brother. If you're a Magnum enjoyer, there you go. You can skill him up with the Carcanos. I think that is a great take. Or if you have Ileana or one of my most wanted LD5, Sylvia, there are skill ups here, but I think there's more valuable options here as well. Week 14, guys, look at us go. I think this could be another skill up week. I don't know. What do you think, Stoic?
If you want to try something fun, you pick and you don't have it, the Dak Barbaric King.
Dude, he can go crazy. Cool. Wait, let's read him.
Yeah.
He can go crazy. I actually built one out of hype. I will say, I did build him out of hype. He didn't perform super well for me, so I didn't commit to the bit for long, but he's got an objectively super fun third skill. You instantly recover a turn and prevent this attack from going on cooldown with a 40% chance, and then he goes into berserk state. So there is a world where you can just frenzy people over and over and over again. So you do frenzy, you put them on violent, and like all of a sudden you're taking all the turns. Kind of a fun, like Magical Christmas Land kind of like, you know, hypothetical. It's like everything's going well, you know, like Hrungnir can kind of go off. Like it is fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't have him, take him, build him, try it out. He's a fun build. If you need a new project, you can do it. But to me, this is still kind of a skill up week.
Yeah. He's a good laugh. If you're looking for, you know, a good laugh and you've got nothing better to do and you don't have him, pick him up, skill him up. He could be fun.
But there is some serious utility here in the skill up options. I just wanted to shout that out because it's like, again, if you have an Icarus, you can do that. If you have a Viva Chell or a Celia, talking to Jug, you know, or if you have a Martina, like anything Wendy's, like there's some seriously good skill ups in this week. Just something to consider. Moving on to week 15. This is actually a pretty good week. I actually like this week. The LDs are fine. The dark one, the dark tableau, damage dealer for guilds. Pang got some attention when Punisher's Crypt Abyss came out. Or was it the... I'm sorry, I think it was the Punisher's Crypt and the Steel Fortress when they launched, because she can extend debuffs. And then Abigail is great in Necro. Stoic, do you have standouts in here too?
I feel like the Abigail's a pretty big standout. I think Abigail requires a lot of skill ups, I think. Or do you... When you awaken, you get the third skill.
When you awaken, you get the third skill.
Okay, so not a ton. Because there is a Necro team where you don't awaken the Abigail, and you play this. That's a lot of skill ups going towards this unit. And I feel like the Cannon girls in general, I feel like they all need a lot of skill ups. And I think this is the only Cannon girl we've seen in any of the Hall Heroes.
Yeah. People keep telling me, oh, you know what? There's one other. It's Emily, the light one. The light one's also in it. And she can be used too if you don't awaken her, actually. You can use her as a replacement. The only thing is she doesn't have that same leader skill. Part of the reason why you want Abigail is because she has the dungeon attack lead.
Yep.
People keep telling me that you can awaken her now. I don't, just in case. I don't want to introduce that variance. I don't know if she has perfect AI or not. So I just don't, I don't put that on. I don't put that on my comp. It's doing great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the play for that Necro team is Abigail's role is to do a little bit of damage if she gets through the shield, but her initial role is get rid of the shield. Someone else does the damage.
Right, exactly. She never uses skill 3 in Necro. Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that. Again, though, I did just want to say Pang's kind of sick. Like, if you have her, you can do some fun stuff with her. I think I'm actually going to get Pang for this Hall of Heroes. And then the dark tableau again. I'm forgetting his name, but he's cool.
I can't remember.
I can't remember his name either. Oh, dude, this one is a joke. Dude, Monty. Thank you, Monty. 3-card Monty. Pang is a legit old school unit, and she is so cool. I just want to say that she is very cool. So just think about Pang, but there's other options in there. This is a cool week. Chammy is so valuable for raids. Like, she's got brand and heal block on skill 1, plus she has a cleanse for herself on skill 3. Specifically because it's a skill 3, that makes it really valuable for raids, because that means that she can't get Oblivion. And then there's Aster. Aster is one of my favorite elemental nat 4s right now, actually. So you want to tell people about your thoughts while I go bring this up? Which would you want me to bring up first? You want me to bring up like Chammy? You want me to bring up
No,
Aster?
I love the Aster. I think that's a very, very good one to do. A lot of my speed TOA teams even use an Aster. You put on Despair, put her on Violent. She just does so much damage for speed TOA normal. So I use this unit a lot. I use this unit for like, not often that I'm doing this, because I feel like we don't have to with just all the unknown scrolls that we have. But when you're doing scenarios trying to get experience and level stuff up, if for some reason you're trying to level stuff up not through mass feeding 3-star units, a star is one of those great units. One of those stars to use to level monsters.
Yeah, nice. One of them. I like that. And what a passive too. This is like no requirement at all in PvE, by the way, right? She's just if they have more HP than you. That's TOA. TOA monsters are going to have more HP than her. That's bosses. Boss monsters are always going to have more HP. That's everything. Like, this is not even a requirement at all. Like, basically, you just get 100% more damage. It's crazy. This is a great unit. Seriously, I highly recommend her. I use her in raids. I use her in Spiritual Realm. I think I misspoke and said I use her in raids. I use her in Necro. I use her in Spiritual Realm too. Let me just bring up Chammy real quick, because I feel like it'd be a little unfair of me to not. Chammy again, right? Branding and HP and heal block. These are super valuable effects for raids. Like, just something that you should think about, right? It's pretty cool. And then the third skill is a cleanse for herself, right? Because this is not a passive, it makes it way better for R5. Okay, cool. Glad we covered that.
I'll be picking up the Chammy myself. I did not get the engraved stones I was looking for my Hanwol, and Chammy's going to help with that.
I agree. And then, yeah, I think that's it. And then Sige's the dark samurai, I think. You know, samurais are fun.
Samurais, again, have a lot of skill ups. You need so many skill ups for damn samurais.
Really?
So not
Really?
a bad decision to go through them.
Interesting. Do you know off the top of your chat, how many skill ups do the samurais take? So that way I don't have to leave this menu again.
I'll check myself.
Oh,
too.
actually, I've got a question for you from Django Fret. It was,
What do we
what
got?
does a speed TOA team look like with Aster?
Let me pull up mine. So you're going to be dragging her along. Is what you're
16?
going to do.
16 skill ups for the samurai?
It's insane because I
You've gotta
think
be
you're
kidding me.
actually skilling up Sword of the Supreme Skywolf.
You're skilling
Because
up
it's like
Sword of
you
the
have
Supreme
your
Sky-
3 and then the 4. I think I'm pretty sure you have
You've
to skill up
gotta
Sword
be
of the Supreme
joking.
Skywolf.
Is that the most? Is that the most skill ups required for any unit? Actually, because previously I thought the most was 13. Because I know that the occult girls are pretty demanding on the skill ups too. But dude, 16 is wild.
Yeah.
Holy
As for
heavens,
the
that's it.
Astar team, so
Yeah.
I run a Water Homunculus on a Rage build. I run the Astar on a Rage build as well, and I go double Ikaru, and I just basically drag both Homunculus, both Astar, and they just like pump out so much damage. And then I have the Water Homunculus on the build where you're pushing back lots of attack bar.
Yep.
And applying a ton of dots as well. So there's just so much damage. Your dogs are teaming up, and the defense breaks are all over the place. Like, it's a pretty good team for. I do that from 1 to 50. That just those 4 units, 1 to 50, and I don't know. Is it 20 minutes? It might.
Whoa.
It might be 20 minutes from 1 to 50.
That's pretty good. That's pretty solid. I trickaroo the whole way up. I might want to adopt what you're playing because that's actually a pretty small adjustment for me to do it. Granted, I do have the wind homunculus right now, actually, but so I might change mine back over. I changed mine to a wind homunculus so that way I could do the speed giants team. I really like it. Okay, guys.
Just because when you get into like that 40 to 50 round, you kind of want that water homunculus to push back attack by.
You do. So here are the last components for the sleep team that was kind of foreshadowed, by the way. Ashubel being a Dark Hathor. Like, just straight up, he's basically Hathor, 2-turn sleep, but he also does buff block, I think? I think he does buff block, if I'm not mistaken. And then he has Beretta's skill 2 that reduces attack bar. And the Water Succubus is another standout from the Elementals, but I do want to just say Finaka is super cool, actually. Very niche, but he is super sick, actually. Can we go look? I'm gonna bring up the light gargoyle real quick for us, guys. It wouldn't feel right if I just ignored him because he's actually kind of dope. So it's whenever he's attacked as a statue, he increases the cooldown times of the person that attacked him. But what's neat about him is that he can extend the cooldowns past their maximum. And then he's got an AoE provoke on skill 2. So he's actually pretty sick.
Placing threat state, anyone?
Oh,
With the,
my
what's,
wah.
You could do that with your
AC
water
units?
Ezio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, we all have an option that can do that. Wait, what's the name of the Summoner's War original?
Altair, but not Altair. Yeah,
Look at this. I couldn't have told you the name of the Summoner's War original, actually.
No, neither could I.
2 turns and threat state on an ally target. Dude, that's actually a really accessible combo because everybody has access to Frederick, right? He's in the ancient coin shop. So if you didn't get Light Ezio, or rather Altair, excuse me, if you didn't get Altair, then you can do that.
Yep.
Wow, that actually makes my opinion of Altair change a little bit, to be honest. Like, that's really cool. You know what that is? That is the Summoner's War equivalent of the Stuffy Doll combo from MTG. That's what that feels like to me.
Ah, okay.
That's so cool. So if you chat, I don't know. I know there's some MTG players in there, but if you enjoy giving a creature indestructible and that can deal damage to the board when you deal damage to it, you may want to check this out because that's actually kind of hype. That is actually, I think I might take Finaka based on this conversation, actually.
That's kind of what I was trying to do with Altair and Fermion, where I was trying to place threat state on a Violent Revenge Fermion, where I would eventually provoke everything and defense break, and then Altair having him on a somewhat bruisery build, but have third skill take advantage of like a defense broken unit.
Yes.
Third skill it.
Let's go Cujo. Let's go Hydralski. Yes. Those are my people. Okay. Let's keep going. Week 18. Oh, dude. This is a super tough choice, actually. This is a great week. This is what I'm talking about. So, Verisa, I talk about Verisa all the time. She is such a great farmable, free-to-play, like AoE strip option. She also applies attack break and glancing to protect you from the damage coming back. But I did just need to shout out too that the Light String Master Dongbik, she is a TOA Hell team. You know, she's an inclusion on that. I'm gonna bring her up. Stoic, what do you think about this week?
I think Verisa's insane. Anybody that doesn't have a Verisa, in my opinion, this is a must.
There she is.
But like ATA wise, really, really good stripper here. Solid base speed, 105. Second skill also really, really nice. Just so many multi-hits. You put additional damage on her. This unit's going to feel really, really good when you're using it. I think when it comes to 4-star arena, special league, 20-star, she's an excellent unit to bring to the table to fill in a spot that you need when you're trying to strip.
Absolutely. And so let me just bring up Dongbik real quick for folks too, because since I have Verisas, I just haven't awakened them yet. Since I have Verisa, I'm going to be taking Dongbik this week. Her passive is really cool, right? So the whole point is that like you want her to play her song. So you want to get her into the song state, right? When she's not in the song state, she's going to get 20% attack bar every time an enemy gets a turn. And then when she's playing the song, right, she's going to lose 10% attack bar whenever an enemy gains a turn. Sounds a little weird right now, right? Sounds a little weird, but trust me on this, right? As long as she's playing the song, anybody who takes a turn loses 5% of their HP at the start of their turn, and they have a chance to get attack broken. This is actually a really important effect for TOA Heck, where you need to like kind of be on that long-term grind. This is kind of like half a dot, right? This is half, this is auto dot. It's half of a Saf dot. It's an auto dot every time someone takes a turn, and that effect is actually pretty importante. So this is a cool option. This is a pretty cool option. I'm going to be taking her just because I have Verisa. If you don't have Verisa, I would probably prioritize Verisa though. Okay, let me see. Let's keep going here. Next up, week 19, Stoic. How are you feeling about this?
There he is. Our boy, the light Neostone agent.
Lucas.
This is a super, super solid unit.
Yeah.
His shields make them very, very difficult to handle. There was a time people were bringing Lucas in, and just Lucas was unkillable.
It was
so
a bug.
really, really neat passive here.
Yeah, or I guess not so much a bug as it was like just the growth that he was getting in the shield was exponential, and so there was no way that you could ever pierce it. And so that actually makes it so that this guy is still amazing in Rift Beasts, by the way. So like if you need somebody who can bring heavy damage to the beasts, you got it right here. He does increase damage up to a certain percentage now based on the shield. I don't think that cap was there before. I think that might have been the issue. I forget exactly what it was. I think that wasn't there. Waited 2 years to summon Lucas after acquiring him in Hall of Heroes, the Space Cadet. Yeah, I don't think I have one. I actually don't think I did that Hall of Heroes. I don't know what was wrong
It should
with
say new if you don't have it. And if it doesn't say new,
it's
see,
only
there's your light
in
sill.
this little mini screen. It doesn't show it.
Okay, that's right.
In this little mini one, it doesn't. Okay, where's Luke? There we go. Is there anything else from here? I think you should take Lucas. Like, just speaking plainly, I think for this one, Lucas is probably the take. Other units that are interesting though, like Fuko actually has some use in dungeons now. He applies slow. I know that people were using him in Punisher's Crypt actually, because it's actually a little bit rare. It's a little harder to find farmable units that can apply a slow without reducing attack bar, and he's one of them. So that's something to just think about.
All the liches are honestly really good. Wind, water, fire, They're very, very good. The water one's even seen some Atiai action in there too. It can be a pesky unit to deal with. Gains immunity against inability effects, decreases the chance of being attacked with a critical hit. So it just receives less damage. In addition, increasing your attack by 25% whenever you get attacked by a non-crit. So it can be very, very difficult to handle. So great skill ups. All your liches. I recommend having all liches skilled up and 6-star, like ready for their time, their moment, because they're all very, very good.
Wow, it's a good family. I was just doing a little like inventory of all the liches. That's a good family. I should do a monster families ranked on those, actually. That'd be really fun. Darkmon is useless is a question asked by Furlane. No, I wouldn't necessarily say that at all, but it's more so just that the light option is really good, and you should probably take it. I think that's really it. Let's move on to week
They
number
offer so many
20.
different utilities is the craziest thing.
Yeah, they do. Week 20 is actually another showcase of a couple really cool units. Just going left to right, I mean, Platy is another valuable skill up. She is a revive option if you need one. I'm gonna jump over to Wind here. The Wind Sniper is kind of like Douglas. So if you don't have a Douglas option, he is Douglas, but for water, which is kind of fun. And then the Light Poison Master I'm semi-unfamiliar with, but Kyle, his water brother, is really popular right now too. So if you need skill ups for Kyle, here's the option. And then Amduat is super dope. Stoic, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this is just the biggest Amduat no-brainer here for so many people. If you don't have it, this is what you need. For anybody who's trying to play Gap Soup right now, Gap Soup Amduat honestly is like your combination. Obviously, people who have the Ragdoll and Gapsu combo, like you're playing those two units, but the third unit that is like 90% of the time right there with them is an Amduat.
Yeah, and Furlane says, what if I have Amduat? That's where you want to start considering the other options we went through. Heckerson, says Richard Morella, is his Light Poison Master. People like that name, Heckerson. Yeah, Amduat is probably he's super good. I didn't think about pairing him with Gapsu, actually. Maybe I should bring my Amduat back. I de-ruined him. I was using him for a while last season. Maybe I should bring him back. Yeah,
funny thing about the Poison Masters is Heckerson's the only interesting name, because it's like Bill, Ted,
Todd,
Dave, Jake, and Heckerson, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Heckerson. Each having a 50% chance to block beneficial effects to be granted on them for 2 turns and destroys. Kind of lost me in that skill, but again, I just wanted to say that Kyle is really popular. Is really popular in speed dungeon teams right now. So if you're thinking about building that combo, or that comp rather, you may want to invest in Heckersons so that way you can skill up your Kyles. That's just something to think about too. So just think about that if you have Amduat. If you don't have Amduat, I'd go Amduat. If you've got him, you could go Heckerson. You could also do the Wind Sniper. Week 21. I know that the Light Barbarian King can stun for a couple turns. That's pretty cool.
Light Barbarian King's very good. Like, he's got a really good kit.
Mimir.
I feel like the biggest thing holding these guys back just might be the base stats. Like, you look at them and everything seems really good. You know what I mean? Like, what they do seems really, really good. But like, I think one of the reasons why Aegir fell off was because Diana shredded him, and if Aegir wasn't pushing back attack bar, killing everything, and then like you were so proactive with removing units. If you weren't proactive removing units, Aegir just he was dropped too easy. I feel like that's why all the Barbaric Kings they're not there, and it's just because of that like 4-star base stats that they all have.
Yeah,
they just disappear too quickly.
I will say too that this skill is kind of fun, right? Because you stun it for 2 turns, but you reduce its attack bar too. So this ends up feeling like 3 turns, which is kind of sick. And then also the cooldown time after skill ups becomes 3 turns. So you're in the berserk state for as long as they are stunned effectively, right? Like that kind of ends up being how it feels. He's really cool. I agree with what Stoic said though. The base stats are not super there, but I think he's probably the best option. Let's just review the Dark Chakram Dancer really quick. We got a question about Belita. Place on your turn to replace all target beneficial effects with dots. Additionally, decreases the enemy's HP by 5% each according to the number of continuous damage effects granted on the target. So it's almost like you get the dot effect immediately while the dots are still there. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Belita. I think you find yourself just having to skill up so many chakrams, especially in the past. I have 4 Talias, 4 Cheyennas, 1 Diva, 1 Melissa.
I have a Melissa too.
2 Sabrinas. Like you just have so many chakrams and so many boomerangs from the past. And for me, I'm just trying to make sure like all of them are skilled up. And
I have
like I think I
but
just have Belita. Belita is like my only chakram left to skill up, and I'm probably never going to use this unit.
I haven't used Belita either. She's the only one I haven't used, which is a little bit telling. I think it's because her effects would be more useful somewhere else. Most of them are used PvE, and she feels like a monster that's built for somewhere else, to be honest. I wish we had twins viable in RTA again. Okay, let's keep going. Week 22. If you there's some cool options in here. This one's a little awkward, but like Suiki's awesome, but he's fusible, so I don't think I'd get him here unless you really just don't want to do the fusions, but I would recommend you just do the fusions. The Wind Rune Hammersmith, I think she's just Rune is that what she is now? Just Hammersmith now?
Yeah,
I think they removed the word.
Yeah.
They removed the word rune. That's right. It was a little lengthy.
It was the longest name in Summoner's War. You summoned her, and it was like
rune.
It was outside of the box. It was like ancient swordsmith, rune, hammersmith of the West. And you know what I mean? It was just gone.
Yeah, it's 69. Yeah, it's like it had all. It was like a gamer tag underscore XX69, and then she's kind of cool actually. Like people are saying Deborah Skillup. She for sure can be Deborah Skillups. Deborah's still super used if you have her. Yep. She herself is actually kind of neat though, because like she makes it so if you have attack buff, you apply defense break. And she applies that to like everybody too, and she provides the attack buff. So she's kind of neat. I used her for a little while actually. And then there's Emily, I think her name is the Light Cannon Girl. She can be used as a replacement if you didn't get Abigail earlier. And the Dark Hypno Meow. How are y'all feeling about the Hypno Meows?
I made this unit, skilled it up and everything, and I tried using it for 4-star arena and hated every bit of it.
I remember the in development name for these was the Dream Meow, and I thought that was so funny.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it.
Hypno Meow, the Dream Meow.
The double passive unit. I think this is like one of the only units that we have that only have a skill 1 with a double passive. I don't know if that exists anywhere else.
Whoa. Yeah, look at that. Double passive.
Oblivion double hurts this unit.
Yeah, it's the most affected unit by Oblivion. So useful in very niche cases. I mean, if we're talking about sleep comps, we've been talking about sleep comps. Oh, that's funny. Look at this. I can still move the background. Wait, now I can't move. Oh, there we go. It's interesting. Okay, week 23. So Dragonov, we got Tosi, the Sedem Toes, and then we also got the Fire Robo as the highlights too. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, for me, I'm building a quad Tosi team.
You are.
Yeah.
Well, the skill ups are going to go hard.
I pulled all the Tosis before it went. I know. That's why. So anytime that I can take a samurai, I'm probably taking a samurai as long as I don't require any engraved stone from the LDs. I am trying to work the quad Tosi team and just have Sword of Supreme Skywolf just going through the roof. Because I think out of all the samurais, Tosi probably is the best.
I know
it was the last one to come to
Hall of Heroes.
Hall of Heroes, yeah, he was the last one. So.
He was. I think the only one that's in competition for the best would probably be Kaito, actually, because he can put people on cooldown. Good. Yeah, he can put. This guy was like straight up broken for a little while. They all have different scars, which is kind of a fun detail too. Their face scars are different in between each element. Kind of a fun little detail.
Oh, it's Tosi's base speed. I was like, I can't remember what I really liked about him. It was the 120 base speed compared to his brothers.
Holy, dude, slow down. Do you have any idea how fast you were just going? Good lord. Okay.
Anyone catch a number of that samurai?
And then Dragonov's fun. Dragonov's fun. He's another laugh, to be honest. I think he's one of those units, you bring him if you want a little bit of a giggle, but otherwise, like, I'd go Tosi. I'd go Tosi here, yeah. Or there is an argument for Robos. There is an argument for Robos. I won't be the one to make the argument. Let's keep going. Finally, week 24. The light black tea bunny. Dude, Talia is such a great addition to the Hall of Heroes, actually. I think Talia is such a sick version of these events. I think that I don't think she even got enough credit. I think that this is like a super stellar unit to put in. Like one of the best facilitators, her and Shina, for the twins in general. Huge damage. The damage is so significant that it ignores a mechanic of the game. The Light Rift Beast is supposed to reduce the amount of damage that like multi-hitting skills do. She deals so much damage that she can basically just ignore that whole clause. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a reason why I have 4 Talias. Like, Talia's such a good twin to have.
Oh, any guesses for what the fire unit is? People are saying. Any guesses for fire? Let's go look.
I'll
be honest right now, I actually don't know right now. I actually don't know. Someone says the Asura. The Asura could be cool. We haven't had an Asura entry yet.
I think the Asura is a very good one.
That would be a really
I don't think
cool.
we would do any 4-star collab unit, would we? Like
I don't think like
mercenary
Solveig.
team, right?
Well, we've got the black tea bunnies already represented, right? Like the light black tea bunnies in there.
Oh, it's the mercenary queen.
It's probably
That's
a Solveig.
my vote. Yeah, 100%. I would say that if we already have black. And when was the black tea bunny? Was it the week before?
It's this same week as the light one. One last drop. Attacks all enemies to decrease their defense for 2 turns and increase their cooldown time by 1 turn. Whoa, that's actually pretty sick.
If it's not Solveig, it's the. Nah, they wouldn't do Pave. Yeah, they wouldn't do Pave because they already have the black tea bunny.
They do already have the black tea bunny, but we haven't seen one of these at all. Like they've been completely absent. Is it the fire one?
Same
that's
for the black
cool?
tea bunny. That was the first time the black tea bunny was in there, right?
Okay. Was it the fire one that's cool? I think it's it's the wind one. The wind one's cool. This is the one that's got an attack bar boost with attack power and crit rate. Okay. The wind one is the cool one. I actually unironically love the designs of these units. I like the floating shields, as chocolate bars. I think these guys look cooler than they should for a chocolate-based unit, like for something that is basically made out of candy. I think these look like really solid.
I didn't think they were going to go down that road because we went from, it was the cookie collab.
Yeah.
And then usually comps would be like, here is our versions. Because these were the cookie collab. And they're like, let's stay with food. And then they just went like chocolate and candy after that. I'm like, huh. I thought they were just going to do like knights. Like I really was looking forward to a really cool knight.
Knight, like no gimmick, just knight. So yeah, I think a safe bet would probably be Veruna or Solveig to me. I don't know why. I'm kind of in agreement. I think Pave might be like later or something.
I think it's a collab unit. You think
it is? Salve Brasil! Tudo beleza, lindão? Hello from Brazil, guys. Salve from California. Yeah, Fire Asura would be sick. I would like a Fire Asura very selfishly because I just pulled the light one, so I need skill ups. But that's me. Okay, so chat. Now that we've looked at like all of these, what unit are you the most excited for? Like, what is the unit that you are so stoked is coming back? Stoic, do you have an answer for that?
Conrad.
2036, baby. 2036. Everybody's going to be talking about Conrad.
I'm there for it. I can't wait. Okay, because I've done this before. I can't wait to be right. Conrad comes in there and everyone's going to be like, remember when Stoic was in Conrad's wheelhouse and everybody else was like, no way, Conrad sucks. Okay, remember that.
I can't wait to be right needs to be on a shirt.
I
can't wait to be right. Honestly, wait, so for chat, like just contextually so you guys understand too, Stoic has made a few right calls. Like he was there for Oliver, he was there for Yo, you were there for Dominic. These are you call
Cigar?
Yes, Cigar.
Smicer. I don't know why they're all wind.
They're all wind. But
Smicer's insane right now, and I was playing Smicer before it was cool.
Yes, and then Yeah, my only claim to fame was Miho. I knew Miho was going to be broken, but then she was like so broken that they found a crit rate bug.
She was so broken we found out the game was broken.
It prompted an investigation into the game's crit rate. Silent Storm says the Light Neo Stone. I don't have him and he looks awesome. I'm in the same camp with you. I'm really looking forward to Light Neo Stone, to Lucas. I'm also really, really stoked for Dongbake, actually, Fanaka. The reason Fanaka is like a standout to me too is just because our conversation about how like you can pair him with Altair, right, or Frederick, which is the Summoner's War equivalent one, that actually kind of started to change my opinion about Altair. Because, you know, to me, he's gimmicky. He's like, he's not that great. But like when you find the right combo piece for him, that actually sounds pretty awesome. And then Talasha, because for whatever reason, I missed the Talasha one. Actually, I missed the Talasha dungeon. I must have had something going on.
That's rough. Didn't you finally pull your Leo too?
Yeah, I've got Leo. I've got Leo, and now all I need is Talasha. So if I pull her, I'm gonna be real happy.
Yep. And we could do some Leo Raymagod Talasha stuff with you, huh?
Dude, we could do some combos with that. I could save up some LD scrolls. Maybe I'll pull a Ragdoll or something too. Actually, that would be pretty hype. That would be pretty hype.
Shoot for the stars. Why not?
Let's do it, dude. Do you want to do? Do you feel up to doing a game of RTA? Game of RTA or two?
I definitely do, because I would love to be able to try and get a Diaz game in there to showcase a little bit of Diaz.
Let me spectate you. Jump on.
Right, my spectate's on right now.
Thank you so much. I've got to wait 8 seconds before I can refresh. Actually, wait. I can just find you. Oh no. 2 more seconds, dude. 2 seconds has never felt this long. Okay.
Also, one of the units that I picked up in the Nat 5 event, got to choose your Nat 5. One of them. I picked up the Light Pudding Princess, the Jackson at Home. I am utilizing that unit a little bit more. Obviously, I'm utilizing Jackson, but in the time where I think I need the shields and healing.
The fire pudding princess? The fire one?
Yes.
Is that gotcha. Cool. Roger that. That's awesome.
I'm going to hit ranked now.
Go for it. Down low says, trying not to be tempted to go for fusion monsters in the Hall of Hero event. Dude, this is me reaching through the computer to give you a little slap. Nothing too hard, but just a little slap on the wrist. Stop that. Stop that. Don't get a fusion monster. The only time when I could like say yes, take the fusion monster, is if you tell me that you have an Ongyuki, you just summoned Ongyuki, and you need Suiki's stat. And I'm like, okay, take the Suikis. You know, that's fine. But like, otherwise I would strongly suggest, no, you know what? Even then, fuse them. It's so easy to fuse now. It's so easy to fuse.
Interesting.
Oh,
now I'm going to hit him with the Leo.
Yeah, dude. This is a great time to be an LD only account. Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh wow, and he banned the Leo. That was definitely the necessary one. Dude, he picked 2 speed-dependent units.
So one of the things I'm terrified of right now is Volantis.
Yeah. But we've got Diaz for that.
Yep.
Space Cadet Galaxy. Wow. Wait.
But I also wish I had a Vermas on the field.
This is like a defense comp. Sonya is not going to have a fun time. Not going to have a fun time with that. Space Cadet said, I will never do World Arena. I know I'll lose quickly. That's not a reason to avoid World Arena. You know, it's like sometimes the losses are what help you get better, right? You know, as long as you're like looking at it and saying, where did I go wrong? As long as you're comfortable doing that, like you can improve. Like, oh man, I was playing some games with Alan last week actually, and I realized I made some misplays that cost me the game a couple times. I was playing too fast, you know? Oh, that was sick and nasty. I love it.
Big stun right here too.
Ooh! Ooh!
Look at these provokes, man.
This is good stuff. I like this comp.
It works so well.
So you like the Gapsu just for the lead, even if like you don't have, even if there's not a lot of healing on the other side?
Or the strip, the branding, how much damage he does with skill 2. There's so much healing going on as well. Gapsu is crazy good.
You're really stopping this Water Siri from doing any damage. The Sonya
look at the damage. Ready?
Oh my god. Bonk.
It's crazy.
Bonk.
Branding.
Dude, give him the bow.
Give him
Give him the bow, bro.
Oh, no, I turned my emotes off. Yeah, that's why. I was like, I can't give him the vow because the emotes are turned off. But like, it's a super crazy team, and it's so neat to see Diaz have so much viability. Against stuff like that, like there's just nothing that he could have done there because Diaz was too insane. Leo was 100% the ban. That was just a well-oiled machine, is what you saw there.
Yeah, that was a great showcase for like what Gapsu can bring to a comp, even if there's not a lot of healers on the other side. What Diaz can bring to a comp. So bear this in mind, guys. You know, as cool as this comp is too, there are 2 farmable units that are like making this. By the way, Darkside Duck says free to play viable for sure. Kick. No, dude, like that's actually like. I know that the Ragdoll and Fermion are in the middle, but you got to remember too that like the hinge points for that team are the Gapsu and the DS, which are both farmable now. And now we throw an Amduat into the mix, and so now we've got a third potentially farmable unit, unless we pivot away a little bit.
We also are playing a little bit of
Jubel.
Jubel. Jubel's very, very good too.
Ongyuki makes this a little more complicated.
He does.
Do you still bring Diaz or no?
I think I still bring Diaz. I think he brings another high damage unit here in the 5th spot.
Again, dude, yeah, this is cool. So now we're banning Ong. Presumably.
That's a force ban on the Rika.
Oh my gosh, the dude is too smart.
Yep. Well, it's very similar to like my situation last time, where it's like it's a very obvious Leo last pick, and then for him, I have no defense right now. If I had brought Veramos, he would have potentially brought something else, because obviously Veramos would have been good up against the Rika. Good despair stun, man. That's wild.
Diaz is dope here too because he also he reduces the chance to crit.
Yep.
So hopefully he can kind of hurt Vert
That's
a
a
little
brilliant
bit.
proc.
Oh my god, this guy's getting pretty lucky.
That's a big AoE coming at me.
Here we go. Uh-oh, this could be it.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt a lot because I don't have the HP buff right now.
It's a miracle that it only did that much, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
I
was,
didn't get any attack bar pushback too because that glancing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, this guy got some good stuff going. Darkside Ducks, the only LD5 I've ever pulled is on my alt account. Rip. Dude, what did you pull? There are some LD5s that would turn my alt account into my main. You know what I mean? Like, there's a few that I would just be like, you know what? Forget it. I'll swap over. I'll do the whole thing again. What's up, Masa? Say hey.
I think I needed the Rika in here.
You needed the Rika in there?
Yeah. See, like, I feel like a lot of people would think like the Ada was good, but at the same time, maybe he was not the pick.
Maybe, dude, ban the Ong, take the res lead from Diaz. That's like.
that's some super finger crossing gameplay right there.
Super, like, cross the fingers. Hyoiki Tenkai. Like, yeah, that's absolutely something to. It's adding an element of risk for sure, but still pretty cool. Someone said Hwadang. Collaborator 69 says you need Miho in this comp. Against something that's not Nongyuki, absolutely.
Yeah, I think if I took a Miho there, Miho would get swamped.
Yeah, she also does die to dot. So maybe on a slightly different, against a different enemy, yes, I agree with you. He's sick.
Okay, so we have a little bit of attack bar pushback here. We have stuff we can bring. I think the Veramos is very good right now.
Do you like the Veramos for the provoke and the defense break from Cigar? Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah. Plus, like, if you're stripping a bunch of stuff, he has 3 units that are gonna do that. There it is. Okay, I was gonna say, like, I want to stop whatever he's going to bring there, which is the Light Monkey King. Very good. So let's go ahead. We can throw this down now. I could have went Jackson, but I think this is better for me. I'm going to.
We're not ban. Oh, cool, guys. We're
it's
not
either
banning
Fire
the
Monkey
Light Monkey.
King, Tian Lang. It's no, we can't ban the Light Monkey because we're drafting for it.
Okay.
You know what? It's the Tian Lang. We got to get rid of Tian Lang here.
Oh, actually, that was a beneficial ban for us because I think the Veramos starts to lose after attack bar reduction gets introduced to the gameplay. So
Well, that's why we have
the Jackson,
fire putting princess.
Jackson at home.
Yeah, exactly, the Jackson at home.
Nice boost. Oh, the res. Uh-oh. The res.
Yeah, I wish I
from
got
the
the
monkey.
turn slow over here on Fire Monkey King.
Do we
Let's go ahead and work on
the cigar? Okay.
Yep. Oh, beautiful. I need the stun. Let's go.
Nice. Okay. Come on, Jackson at home. Nice. Actually helped quite a bit, to be honest.
Yep.
Yeah, that was not too bad. That was
Working on
not
that.
too shabby. Okay, and then now let's see if Gapsu is smart.
That's it right there, I think.
Oh my word.
All right, a little bit of healing. I don't want Ragdoll procking. I need either Gap Soup or the Fire Pudding Princess to proc. Proc here. Big heal, no proc. Because also, part of the passive with the Fire Pudding Princess is she increases healing. Meaning
I didn't
Gap
know that
Soup
she
has a
did that.
crap ton of healing.
I did not know that she did that. That's cool.
Yep.
It's a benefit. That's a reason to use her at times instead of Jackson.
Also with the Veramos too, because if the Veramos had gone through, all of Veramos's healing is just through the roof.
Bonk. Love it. Loving the bonk. Look at this dude. You're actually not too down on HP, all things considered. It's a
Yeah,
good fire
we're still going to be
princess.
healing a good amount. As long as he doesn't get any more defense break violent procs, we can survive. Beautiful despair
Nice.
stun. Good slows where I needed them.
Yeah. For sure. Oh,
I need
dude.
Fire Monkey gone.
I know. We need the fire monkey to be gone like yesterday. Let's.
Yeah, Gapsup was our only guy who violented, and we're in so much trouble now.
Oh dear. She's got the same skill too as the wind one that I keep bringing. That's my copium right now. Is I keep bringing the wind one.
Oh, double despair stun. It's so beautiful. I needed that to slow this man down. Because right now, Fire Monkey King's just all of my attention.
Nice damage.
Oh,
Dude, the
man.
monkey. Oh
I
yeah,
know,
my
I
God,
can't keep
Pushach.
up with those procs.
The monkey be
Oh my
rocking,
god,
dude.
I can't keep up with his procs and despair stuns. It's too much. Yeah,
If
I
more-
still can't proc. It's crazy.
If more doesn't stun you, we're gonna get a torrent.
No,
You're gonna
that's
quit
over.
before the torrent?
Yeah. There's no reason to push for it. We're not built on vampire. We're built on violent. Well, I'm pretty sure we're built on violent. I know it's not showing much, but we are.
In
We are
theory,
built on
we're
violent.
built on violent. We can do. You want to do one more? You want to do one
We can
more
do
so
one
we don't
more,
end
yeah.
up? Let's do one more so that way we'll get a win. We'll get a win so we don't end
was
on a
rough.
loss.
That was a rough ride right there.
But that's okay. We can get it back.
I've lost too much. This is the highest I'd ever been in a season for years. It feels I got up to like 1860 and then just lost it all. We're 1770 something right now.
Tim Morris says hello from Belgium, and there's a hello from Portugal from Mr. Sapo. Hello again from California.
Portugal.
Oh, dude, the Layla. She's crazy.
A lot of attack bar pushback here. Both these units very good. I can actually even bring in a Jackson too. We'll have a ton of sustain, ton of healing, ton of
dude, that'd be
anti-attack power.
Ragdoll would be predominantly our damage in that situation.
Oof. So
Yikes.
I could either go with a Seimei for more healing, or I could even go with a Juno. You know what? Let's go with the Juno so I could be more proactive in clapping back here. We'll get rid of the Oblivion, obviously. Because I think Juno comes off as a big ban right now, but then I've got so much healing.
Apocalypse says new brain dead Layla draft. She's so good. This unit is crazy.
In my opinion, I don't see this as a brain dead draft at all with the Layla Tomo. Like it's a pretty good draft. A lot of people are using it. The thing is in my opinion, like you just worry so much about Junos. You worry so much about that Fire Pudding Princess, Veramos. Like, there's just so many obvious counters that most people have.
Yeah, there's a lot out there that can. I mean, we have Veramos and Juno. So, like, in theory, we should be okay.
Yep.
In theory.
I mean, even in my opinion, I think I'm playing a very brain dead draft myself. It's Ragdoll Gap Soup, and you let the passives do the work.
True that, actually. Yeah, that is very true. It's just more debuffs for Veramos to remove at the end of the day. He's great for this because he can just cycle back. He'll still get the attack bar after removing the cleanse block.
Yeah, so for me, it's all about targeting. We make sure we go after the right units first, and Layla's got to go, then the Tomo, and then work down the Rico.
Yep. This is my favorite kind of like draft to go up against, just because I really enjoy the Juno Veramos like auto cleansey playstyle for whatever reason. And dude, yeah, we got plenty of time. There's no death break, you know, so it's like we got a little time. There's no death break on anybody, so.
Yep, and everyone's built super thick to stay alive. And if my opponent's going to keep proccing, I just really want to see my 3 units violent as well. That's all.
If Veramos procs, oh, no such luck. Veramos cleanses the remove block. Yeah, so the way that it works is...
I'm going to go for a desperation move.
The way that it works is that, like, you know, the cleanse block gets removed first, right? You have to go through the cleanse block before anything else. And that's why it's no longer present on anybody.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think he's in a spot where he might even just like bottom left. Like, he's already cycled through all of his skills, and I am very healthy.
Yeah, he's burnt out. And then like also Gapsu removes 1. Not crazy, but he does auto cleanse. So it's like he's got a lot of that from everybody. Like we've got a lot of debuffs, but there's not a lot happening. You know, we're fine, I think.
We should be fine, in my opinion. We should be fine.
Famous
but
last
obviously,
words,
like, I know, famous last words, exactly. I really just want to see some of my guys, like, just violent. Prove to me that the violent runes are there.
How to play against Layla comps? Honestly, like this. Like, Veramos Juno.
There's 2 fusible units right now. 2 fusible units, and most people have a Juno. If you don't have a Juno, nothing else fills Juno's role.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, you know, yeah, Juno, you could do Tetra. You could do Tetra, actually. I think you could, not the same, but you could do Tetra. Yeah, there's no heal block, there's no death break, so it's like, you know, he's done these skills over and over again. If we proc right here, things are gonna get wild. See, like, we already have full attack bar again. If he reduces, does he reduce? Oh my wah. Wait, this is his chance. There's one chance.
Yeah, he's not even going after the Veramos.
This is a one chance. He should be going after the Veramos.
I used the second skill under the camera. I thought it was more important that I tried to go for stuns and we somehow only got 1 stun.
So you see the attack bar.
I'm gonna get all the healing back. I'm not worried about it.
Exactly. So look at the attack bar, and now we're back up. This is how you play against it. We're proccing. We're getting attack bar. The proc was unnecessary. That is actually a bad proc because we got the attack bar. But like, this is what we're talking about. Like, you just grind. You just grind through it with auto cleanse. And if you don't have Juno, right, like you could substitute with, like, you could technically do Tetra, not as proactive, but you could do Tetra. You could do Rakuni. He's only 1, but you could do Rakuni.
I need a big Gapsu proc. I think once he loses Layla, he should just bottom left.
I hope so.
I know, me too. This is a great match to go out on.
I know, I love that. I'm like, oh, we got time for one more. Proceeds to enter into an eternity of match number 3.
Yep.
Like, this
30 up, 30 down. If Ragdoll gets a turn, Ragdoll's gonna smoke something.
This is where emotes would really come in handy, Stoic.
No, imagine if I had my emotes on right now, just watching all the emotes he's just popping on me. I hate that so much.
You could be bowing, you know, you could be like waving.
The entire time.
You could be doing the popcorn, the eating popcorn one. Like, that's a good one. I like that.
That's a good pick. He's going after the Juno now, not critting.
Thank God he's not critting. Buff block's gonna hurt. Wait,
why is he doing that?
Why is he not putting buff block?
I don't know what he's. I don't know why he made that decision. That was a very weird decision for him.
Kaneki is slowly falling asleep. Hopefully
Yep.
our opponent's gonna slowly fall asleep. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of dots, but like, not a lot happening.
I know he has no form of sustain right
Wait,
now.
he can't buff block us because
For
we
the love
reached
of God.
cap. Wait, he can't buff block us
Violent
because
either.
if Veramos gets a turn, if Veramos or Juno gets a turn, we're gonna go crazy because Juno's gonna heal everybody. There's no room for buff block. We reached cap.
I want to know why 27 is such a smaller number than 12.
He has to kill Juno.
He's
Wait,
gonna kill Juno.
No, he's not. Not with that attitude, baby.
God, he's
Look at this.
Son. Thank you.
Ah! You need emotes. We need to tell this guy that he lost. We need to let him know.
Oh, we procced, Evan! We
Yes!
did! Oh my God, we procced!
We procced,
we
thank
won!
God,
We
dude.
got. Oh,
Turn
jeez, I didn't
emotes
think
on.
it was gonna happen.
Turn emotes on. Oh my God, dude.
Dude, it took us that long to pull off a 27. Ugh,
I'm telling you, we
that
just
is
need
ridiculous.
we need an indicator to just tell this guy he's lost. He lost ages ago. He's been sitting here losing.
But honestly, I think he threw the match when he was working on Juno. I'm like, okay, so this is where, and then he made these awkward decisions, and he went back to Veramos. I'm like, no, you're supposed to stay on the Juno, because if you got the Juno kill, I think I got the despair stun after
Yes.
I healed up, and then it snowballed after that.
That
Because
was
then I finally got the gap super proc.
It was a solid game, I gotta say, but yeah, that decision was weird. And then the other one was that reaching cap is really dangerous because that means there's no buff block. So Juno was able to cleanse everything and heal herself back up to full. That was the danger of using the Rika skill 3 to refresh all the dots, because that means that, Juno could do the thing. That was a great game to end on. I've had a blast today. Dude, thank you for joining me, Stoic. Is there anything you want to say to the chat before we go?
Make good decisions, guys. Not just in Summoner's War, but in real life. But in Summoner's War, make good decisions when it comes to your HOH. Really think everything through. Try to do the checklist deal. You won't ever have to ask anybody, what should I do, if you follow these kind of checklists. So teach yourself, learn yourself, and keep educating yourself. Because I think when you... what am I trying to say here? The checklist. Just do the checklist.
Do the checklist.
You don't have to ask the questions of like, what should I pick, when I feel like the information's it's right there.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for watching. Guys, quick announcement before we raid somebody. Summoners War Guardians Club. You can use command SWGC for information on that. If you want to apply, it's one of the best ways to get the most exclusive merch in Summoners War. Like, it's actually pretty easy to register. If you have perfect attendance, if you're a guild leader in a top 50 guild, or if you reached C3 in Arena or RTA last season, or last year rather, then you could be eligible for joining. Command SWGC, thank you so much, Eileen Johnson. Command Meetup as well. And then, let me see, was there something else? I don't think there's any more commands that I need to talk about. Just watch the YouTube channel on Saturday, because we're going to have a cool video coming out then too. All right, y'all. See you all Friday. Stay in chat. We're going to raid somebody. Bye, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Remember the Kagor magic stone? It created a gap in the rift of worlds, bringing a great worldly disaster, putting everyone in danger. Slowly, this magic stone's existence has been forgotten, yet it still exists somewhere in the world. Danger still lurks. It is still persistent. And now, another terrifying disaster is coming to Sky Island. To overcome this disaster, we need professionals. Those who are well versed in monsters. At this time, Siri was busy hunting down a monster. However, it was nowhere to be seen. Only traces of powerful magic lingered. Ciri could not shake this uneasy feeling, so she sought out Yennefer's expertise, realizing that a foreboding problem had arisen. They turned to people they could trust and came together to face the danger. They are now ready to embark on a new journey. The Monster Slayers are returning once again.